Peppermint. Welcome back to another fabulous episode of the only Drag Race recap, where we recap everything that happened on last week's episode of RuPaul's Drag Race before this week's episode of RuPaul's Drag Race. Make sure you click like and subscribe and tick the notification bell so you can get updates on content like this from the Only Productions. That's what you gotta do. Okay, so let's jump right in. Episode 7 starts off with all the queens coming into the workroom, just having sent home, spoiler alert, Aiden Zane. Now, Brita Filter sent home Aiden Zane in a really interesting lip sync where Brita Filter had pulled out magic tricks and she had sparks flying out of her vagina, all kinds of stuff. And Aiden Zane wore a not so remarkable costume for her Frozen look. Anyway, it was really interesting. I mean, all season long, people have been gunning for Aiden Zane. We've seen it in the episodes. We've seen it in Untucked. The queens have really been coming for Aiden Zane, and I understand what it's like. During my season, there was a person who seemed like they were, and this is my perception, it seemed like the judges were really favoring her. And it was really nerve-wracking because there were some of us who just couldn't seem to get either noticed by the judges, who were always put in the bottom by the judges. And so to see one person seemingly skate by can be a little disappointing. And so I get that. But these queens have been gunning for Aiden Zane all season, which is why it's such a crazy turnaround to see the queens come into the episode at the top of the episode talking about, oh my gosh, we're so sorry that we sent Aiden Zane home and we really miss her and she was really promising. We were really gunning for her and rooting for her and all this stuff. And it's what Widow Von Du called a apology, which I think is actually a really good term, and I'm going to start using it because I know a lot of people who've been apologizing to me all my life. And so in honor of Widow Von Du, I'm wearing my Tina Turner wig because that one that you wore didn't quite speak Tina Turner to me. So after the mirror, the queens are sitting down and just, debriefing, and it comes out that Heidi really is feeling some kind of way about all the queens piling on not only her, but I mean, to be honest with you, there's certain queens, a group of queens that just keep kind of going after and picking on another group of queens. And basically, I think if this were season, back in season 4, season 3, season 4, maybe they would have been called boogers back then. What people would have called boogers, one group, the Heathers. It was a very Heathers versus boogers kind of moment. And I don't necessarily like the way that went down. So some of the queens spoke up for themselves. Widow Von Du spoke up. Heidi spoke up for herself, which I think was great. And really kind of let the queens know, you laughed at us. Now we're going to laugh at you. Just wait until you fall. It kind of got a little like vindictive. Like we're going to a vindictive place here. Anyway, so the next morning the queens walk in and it's probably the most awkward morning workroom kind of table talk I've ever seen. Look, nobody was talking. Everybody was being upset. Jan tried to coin a new word, Jansition. Nobody caught it. It was just straight up awkward. Anyway, so Ru comes in and tells all the queens that they're having a Rusical episode where they are doing Madonna, the unauthorized Rusical. And I'm really excited about this. Jan is really, 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 really excited about this. It was just really interesting to see Widow Von Du come after the queens and call them apologizing and saying everybody's two-faced, which you're right. Around that mirror moment, it was basically like 9 queens instantly turned into 18 queens because everybody had 2 faces. But I digress. Widow, you basically were like, going after the girls in the beginning of the episode for being two-faced. But then it was really interesting because when when y'all were choosing the roles for the Rusical, Widow was like, no. Jan, why don't you go first? Everybody's like, why don't you go first? Why don't you go first? And then the minute Jan gets up to do her thing first, other queens, including Widow's like, and you gagged. Jan gagged you with her vocals. But the question is it enough? One of the things I'm definitely going to do is compile at the end of the season or however far Jan gets, I cannot wait to compile a little video of all of Jan's neck movements. Because, I mean, I do neck movements too when I'm feeling it. But, like, Jan's is like, I don't know. It's just, it's cute, but it's a little like, okay, Jan, I'm with you. Jan, shut up! Sorry, my neighbors. Jan blows the singing out of the water. She goes in there, she belts, she screams, she does runs and triple axels and all kinds of stuff, leaps and bounds, and the girls are gagging. And rightfully so, because Jan has an excellent voice. What is really disappointing to me, though, is that Jada does not know Justify My Love. Now, I get it. It was 50 years old, the song. I get it. But Justify My Love, come on, it's the easiest Madonna song. And it's the sexiest one. And Jada, like, you picked it. It just, I mean, why didn't they play the songs for the girls or something? I don't know. But come on. I mean, she eventually got the gist of it. But it was a little disappointing to me that you don't know Justify My Love. I mean, what if Madonna had been the guest judge? Jada, you have to think about these things. So I love how the choreographer, Jamal Sims, kept talking about these Daft Boy fans. And it was like, what? It was such a weird commercial. Did anybody notice that? He just said, okay, y'all ladies, we're going to do this move. Pick up your Daft Boy fans, and I want you to thwack your Daft Boy fans before you use your Daft Boy fans like this, and then look to the right, and then use your Daft Boy fans to go like that, and then put your Daft Boy fans on the ground before you pick up your Daft Boy fan. It was like, okay. So basically, after the rehearsal, two things are apparent. Jackie seems extremely uncomfortable being sexy, and Heidi is still adorable. Now, did you notice that in the workroom now they're painting and Jan is like scoping out the room and looks real happy trying to find out who else is nervous? She's like, so who's nervous? Oh, Jan. So cut to the runway, and this week's guest judges are Winnie Harlow, supermodel, and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Alexandra Ocasio, oh shit, bitch. AOC. Ocasio-Cortez. I have to say it with an accent. Next season, they're going to have to like have God or somebody as the first guest judge because they are really doing it. So the theme of the runway is Night of 1,000 Michelle Visages, which I think is so perfect. Michelle Visage is such a darling. So during the actual performance of the Madonna Rusical, Jan kills it. I'm going to be 100%. Jan kills it. And there's a lot of people that are saying that they think that Jan has performed the best so far in the challenge. And she kills it. Her vocals are on point. And she's with the dance moves, but she did not nail that kick. And that's being real nitpicky. But, you know, I noticed because it was like the first one. And so it wasn't like a blow out of the water. It was kind of like a real strong wave. You know, but the boat's still in the water. Kind of thing. Like, oh, what was that? You know, that's kind of what it was. Okay, so instantly, Jackie is not really pulling it through. I didn't really have the highest hopes for Jackie because she doesn't really tout herself as a singer. But I was hoping to get a little more kind of something, there's something punk and subversive about Madonna that could have translated to Jackie if she'd been open to it. But I think she was really just scared of being sexy. That's what I think. So now it's time for the runway. My favorites on the runway for sure are Gigi and probably Sherry, who had a really good runway. I mean, these are two iconic looks that I totally remember Michelle wearing. And I'm so glad that they give Soul System a shout out. It's just, I mean, I think they talk about it every single season, but I just, you know, I have like the most tender spot in my vagina for Michelle Visage. My least favorite Michelle Visage look was Widow Vendu. It just, I mean, it was pretty accurate from what I could see from the picture. And I do remember those days of Michelle Visage and RuPaul on the VH1 show. That's when she had like this red hair. But something just didn't click for me. It just looked too easy. You know what I mean? That's my thought. Now, I know Michelle is quite disappointed with Heidi's look, but I have to say that this is probably the most put together that I've seen Heidi look all season. last week was pretty good with her Frozen look. And then this week, the makeup is more on point. Obviously, the look is the Michelle look, but she nailed a lot of the detail and made it her own, which I think is something she didn't necessarily do during the Madonna Rusical. So one of the things that I'm noticing about a trend in a lot of the Drag Race queens that are coming through the doors every single year for the past couple of years is that many of the queens are just absolutely 100% only raised on a reference of RuPaul's Drag Race. And so they know the catchphrases, they know the challenges, and it seems like there's this really inflated sense of confidence that a lot of the queens had. And I do think that that's something that Brita displayed, you know, and there's a difference here. I mean, even Jan, who is super, super confident, and she should be because she's so talented. I can't even pretend that I have half the voice that Jan does, to be honest with you. But one of the things that I think is really interesting is Jan, I have never seen Jan act like she was worried about going home. She's only displayed a disappointment about not winning. Where on the flip side, just in my own shoes, when I was in season 9, honey, during Untucked, you did not see me. Every single week, I was learning the words to the lip sync because I was convinced they were going to do some kind of shiesty thing and I was going to be called to lip sync, even if I won. And so I was in that corner every single week with my headphones in, learning and rehearsing that song just in case. And that's kind of the approach that I had. And maybe that doesn't work for everybody, but it was the sense of humility that I would like to see from some of the queens, because it just means that they're vulnerable and open to changing. And I think that's one of the things that we want to see these queens do, is we want to see them come through the door, fierce and fabulous, but change and do something to grow. I mean, that's what I would like to see. I know that's not what everybody wants, but that's what I want to see. And what I say goes! This is the part of the show where I like to say what you should have done. And I think what you should have done this week goes to the person who is probably the biggest loser from this episode. And no, I'm not talking about Brita Filter. I'm talking about Jan. I think Jan really deserved to win this Madonna Rusical this episode. She put in a lot of work, but I think one of the things that you didn't do, Jan, is what you should have done is just display a little bit more of that humility. Just realize that anybody could be sent home at any minute and not everybody's entitled to win, regardless of how well you perform. That's obviously the reality show aspect of it. And I think, what you should have not done is have that face when you turned around and found out that you were not winning. That's what you should have not done. Because now it's going to be burned into our minds forever. It was and you can express your feelings, but that is almost sore loser. And do I think Gigi should have won this week? Yes, I honestly think Gigi did a great job. There's no reason why she shouldn't have won. The only one reason is Jan. Jan did a fantastic job in the challenge and on the runway, and so did Gigi. And so the fact that Gigi won is really a testament. To be honest with you, that confidence. Gigi also displayed a vulnerability. I guess that's really the difference. This week, Gigi had a vulnerability and a confidence, and Jan just had overconfidence. That's my thought. Fight me, whatever. But Gigi, I do think, deserved to win if Jan didn't win. Wait, what? Yeah. Gigi deserved to win if Jan didn't win. If Jan didn't win, which she didn't, then Gigi deserved to next win. Okay, so Gigi was the second in line for winning. She did display some things that I think Jan didn't display. That's what I'm trying to say. I confused myself. But Jan deserved to win. And this week, it's kind of the same thing. Do I think Brita deserved to go home? I'm going to say if Brita hadn't gone home, then the person that I would have wanted to see go home was Jackie. Just based on the challenge and the performance alone. But Brita has been consistently in the bottom. She hasn't won, really. And I think just Britta came with a certain state of mind that just doesn't work well for a Drag Race for everybody. And again, that's this overconfidence. She talked about it a little bit in the Untalked. God, that took a turn. That got sad. Really didn't. Okay, so that is my recap. And I know that was a little sweet and extremely diplomatic because that's how I do. So here with a shady translation is my sis, Tina Burner. Take it away, Tina.
So tonight, I love one of my favorite things is a Rusical. That's right, we getting Rusical with Madonna. Madge Mommy. We serving it up. And we're going to start out with the first girls coming out. So first up was Jan. And I'm going to tell you what. Jan looked fierce. She danced her fucking face off. She gave me old school Madonna. But, you know, I wanted that high Jan belt. You know, I wanted the Jan to see. And I know I couldn't get it because it's Madonna. And let's face it, Madonna ain't hitting those notes. Okay, sis? But anyway, so Jackie Cox we had as Madonna, wearing her white wedding dress, and I'm gonna tell you what, she was great. I wish it was a little more sexualized. Like, the thing that was missing from Jackie in that a little bit, she was a little dead behind the eyes, but that's because Jackie, I don't think of Jackie as like a sex symbol. I think of Jackie like she's always said, you know, like I'm a Persian nerd. She's like a gamer. So it was like, you know, Dungeons and Dragons put on a white wedding dress and they said, all right, honey, we're giving you Madonna. I still loved it. But, yeah, she didn't... I want to look like, when I see that Madonna, I want to look like she smells. You know what I mean? Like, she's a bride, but you're like, it's a scratch and sniff. Like, she smells a little. She's dirty. She's a little hussy. Gigi Good. Honey, you know I stand for some Gigi Good. She was serving me Sandy from Greece. She had the platinum hair. She's like, you're the one that I want. And she was turning it the fuck out. She was spinning. She was serving face the whole time. Is what I really love about Gigi. Like, she didn't break. Serving face. And yes, she did a backflip. Was it necessary? I don't think so. I didn't need your tricks, Gigi, because you were serving it to me and you were looking fierce and you were giving me everything I need right here. When you can serve it here and there ain't no need for the tricks, honey, you got my bag of tricks, hon. You got my dick. You got my dick. Jada Essence Hall serving me erotica. She was actually just right on point. She didn't break. That face didn't move. She was sexual, honey. She looks like she's done it before. So she was fierce. I thought she did everything right. I think Britta, she's talked about it before so much that she was in her head and she was in her head and was in her head. And this challenge especially, I could see she was thinking. She was looking back at the dancer. She was like, what's up? It kind of looked like you ever go to like a Zumba class or like Jazzercise back in the day. You saw those videos and it was just looked like you were like looking at the dancers like, what's my next move, sis? What's my next move? Am I doing it? Am I doing it? Look, it's tough. You're out there, you're in the moment, and Britta's an amazing performer. I just think she got in her head. So, and that costume, I don't know who gave that to her. She didn't bring that. I don't think, yeah, no, right? I think they were just like, here, girl, put this on. Crystal Method, honey, gave me the trip I need. She dropped that acid. She gave Ray a light, honey. She was, it was like she was strobing out, honey. She was strobing out by the disco lights. So I thought she was spot on. I liked it. It was fun. Give me like a comical Madonna. Yeah, she was great. Widow Von Du, I thought it was her time. She shined a little bit. I've been a little like, when I was watching Widow, I was just like, where is that Widow Von Du? Where is that fierce diva? And I love that she got like the Madonna, like Hollywood kind of like pimping out with the cane in white. She looked fierce as fuck. She was serving it. And then up comes Heidi. Heidi did Heidi. Everyone, we know. We love Heidi. We love Heidi. But it was like Heidi. It was Heidi. You know, Madonna, I don't know what she could have done. I would have made fun of it more like, you know, because Madonna, like, it was just Heidi being fierce. It was almost like Beyonce doing Madonna. I guess that's what it'd be like. It was fierce as fuck. And Madonna's Madonna, but you would never say Madonna's fierce as fuck. Beyonce is fierce as fuck. Madonna's just, she's Madonna. She's a legend. But I wouldn't go fierce as fuck. All right, honey. Now we got a night of 1,000 Michelles, honey. Ooh. I love Michelle. I do. I love Michelle because she is a drag queen through and through, honey. She's a fierce drag queen. She's fierce. See? Michelle Visage. Fierce. Madonna, I wouldn't say fierce. Michelle's pretty fierce. First we have Jan. She's coming out in that pink, like, flight attendant looking like a poopery girl. Doesn't it? She looks like the poopery girl a little bit, right? Jackie Cox was giving you, I call it, like, Seaside Heights Jersey, you know, carnival Michelle. She's mall trash. She's like 16-year-old Michelle going to the mall, going to Claire's, getting your earrings pierced. It's me, Michelle. I'm having a great time. I'm in Jersey, the Garden State. Did you know? Gigi. I mean, very risky to go blonde, Michelle, and to wear like that swimsuit and have that body. Do I think it's like typical like Michelle and you would go, oh my god, that's Michelle look? No. But did she look fierce as fuck? You betcha. We have Jada Essence Hall. I will say Jada Essence Hall from top to bottom nailed it. Everything. Everything was everything. From the shoulders to the icon to like all of it. I was into it. Girl, live your life. Hair swoop. You got me in. Thank you. You look like you belong in the Matrix, and I was into it. Oh, Crystal Method. I'm sorry, but Crystal Method slayed this week. She slayed this week. Her Madonna, I really thought was fierce, funny, and showed her personality. Her personality is amazing, and I really enjoy it. And this look was spot on. I like that she went way back, I think to 96, they said it was. I don't know what Michelle was doing on all fours in that red latex outfit. It's like if Britney Spears from Oops, I Did It Again, like, fell on the floor and just help. I've fallen and I can't get up. Britta. I liked... I don't know if Michelle's dress was made in velvet or it was the Britta the fabric they chose. I'd have to like look back and do a little research. It was just like fabric like that. I hate fabric like that because it like bunches up and it does weird things. So I didn't know if there was another fabric maybe that you'd be able to use. I watched after and saw the agree with the judges. She had button earrings on, and when you have an updo, you gotta pay attention to that detail. So that leaves us with Widow Von Du, and that leaves us with Heidi in Closet in Night of 1,000 Michelle's Haney. So Widow Von Du, that pant leg girl was just really upsetting me. Okay, I know there's a flood, but did the dam break? Because damn, honey, that's a high-waster. If you're gonna do something with a pattern, make sure that the stars in the front at least are not, like, eating the other stars. It looked like one star got hungry and ate the half of the other star. You gotta be really careful with patterns to, like, match them up, especially when you're doing something like that. That's my only critique. Too short on there, and I would have never picked that look. And lastly, we come to Heidi in Closet. Shelby, stop. Go. Thank you. Ooh, she's driving me nuts, sis. My dogs are driving me nuts. This quarantine, being a full-time parent is not what I signed up for. I'm a housewife. I need a husband. Why? Last we have Heidi in Closet. She was coming out, giving me some British Michelle on TV set. I don't know. The hair was too much for me. I know we were dragging it out. But like I said, when you are impersonating someone, it looked like, teleport us to Mars? Tammy Brown there. That wraps it up, and it only brings us to Lip Sync for Your Life. It was between Heidi, and it was between Britta. Once again, I think Britta just got in her head. Heidi was giving me old school, like, Southern, like, dancing, honey. Dancing. Just giving her life, which I really enjoy. I guess it was a tough call, but I think they probably took in the whole challenge, too. Everything, maybe. I thought it was like, it's right here. So, I mean, they made the decision. I don't make the decision. I think it was hard, like, that's not something, like, I wish you could just, like, have the chance to really just change up your outfit. You know what I'm saying? Because I think both of them could have turned it out in different outfits. But with that said, Britta went home, spreading joy, spreading love, and where? New York City. Where? New York City. Where? New York City. Oh my god, there used to be a commercial. What was that commercial? Where's that from? New York City. It was like a salsa commercial. I think? Made in New York City? A salsa commercial. Look it up, guys. I don't know. Somebody needs to look that up because now it's going to do my fucking head in. Anyway, that was another episode of The Only Drag Review with myself, Miss Tina Burner, and Peppermint.
Woo! That is shady! Thank you, Tina Burner. And thank you for watching. Make sure you stick around because we will be bringing more stories to you next week, right before the new episode of Drag Race. In the meantime, I'm Peppermint, and I will see you later.